This is the grand finale.
From the ancient heart of Hungary, the city of kings, Székesfehérvár, we bring you the climax of the biggest event of them all. Today we witness the ascent of the 2025 King of Pentathlon, a champion who will etch his name into the annals of this demanding sport. Hello and welcome to you all. It's a great pleasure to have you here for the ride. The elements are presenting a formidable challenge. It's set to be another scorching session, a true trial by fire under the relentless Hungarian sun. These athletes have battled through the fencing pistes, conquered the challenging obstacle course, surged through the swimming pool and shown their nerve and endurance on the laser run to make it to the final. Now they have to do it all again, starting with the fencing direct elimination, 5 rounds of DE, first to 5 touches, or the most touches in a minute. They then move on to the challenging obstacle course, where it's a race against the clock. Athletes will need to be careful to avoid penalties. They complete the obstacle course and move on to the pool for a 200-meter swim. Another race against the clock, the fastest times getting the fastest points for the start of the handicapped laser run. The athletes have to go around 3,000 meters. They'll do a lap of 600 meters before entering the range for the first visit of 4. The laser range is 10 meters long and the athletes need to hit the target 5 times before they move on. The final lap will see the leaders taking to the track, and the first to cross the line at the end of the laser run will be crowned the new world champion.
So once again, you can follow the competition online for free for the first time on YouTube at the UIPM channel.
Well, every decision, every stride, every shot will be magnified by the oppressive heat, pushing the athletes to their absolute physical and mental limits. Everyone waiting here for the beginning of the competition. This is what it's all about, the medals, and this is our starting lineup. 18 men in the field. Lee Ju-chan coming through the fencing seeding round as the top seed for the direct elimination. He won't compete in the first round, just 2 matches in the incomplete round of 32. And I wonder whether the reigning champion Mutas Muhammad in 9th will be looking to make an early move in the fence. We've seen great performances all round through the field. Kivanch Tasyaran doing an amazing laser run in the semi-finals to make this final. Time to welcome the 18 contenders for the World Championship title. Lee Ju-chan from Korea, 8th at the 2023 Under-19 World Championships, won 26 of his 35 fights. Silver medalist at the Junior European Championships just a couple of weeks ago. Daniilo Sich is representing Ukraine, and he got 24 victories. 21 victories for the bronze medalist at those Junior European Championships. James Hume from Great Britain. Looks like he's in good spirits. Representing the home country, the Junior European Champion, Bogdan Tamash. 21 victories, along with James Hume in the senior round. And 21 victories for Valery Shchukin, the neutral athlete. Don't know huge amounts about him, apart from what we've seen here, but we know he's a very good laser runner. Mohamed Hassan from Egypt, one of the strongest nations in pentathlon these days. He's a bronze medalist at last year's Under-19 World Championships. 20 victories for him in the ranking round, and for Etienne Clergeau from France. He was 6th at the Junior European Championships earlier this month. Now, Andrei Bobrov, neutral athlete, was 11th in Alexandria at this event last year. 20 victories for him. Right in the middle of the pack, the reigning world champion, 19 victories in the ranking round for Mutas Mohammed of Egypt. Henny Vyadchenia. He was a bit of a mystery coming into this, but 18 victories in the seeding round for the neutral athlete. Good challenge. Second of the French athletes, Florent Schoen. He's been steadily climbing the world rankings. 17 victories in the seeding round. 16 victories for Rybak from Ukraine. Just missed out on the medals at the Under-19 European Championships last year. Defending bronze medalist Roman Popov, third of the Ukrainians in the lineup. Senior World Championships in August taking place in Lithuania. They'll be very proud to see Jonas Kalaminskas competing here. 15 victories in the ranking round for him. Fourth at the Junior European Championships with 15 victories in the seeding round. It's Spain's Ivan Liberal Manzanas. Magical laser run in the semi-finals put Kivac Tasyaran of Turkey into this final. Defending silver medalist, the Egyptian Mustafa Abouama will be looking to climb the rankings. And completing the lineup, the Frenchman Diego Lavilla, sixth in Alexandria last year, but 13 victories in the seeding round for fencing. He'll be looking to make early moves in this competition. Well, those are the athletes. I'm Karim Bashir, and I am joined again by a fabulous expert, Youth Olympic Games finalist, African Championship silver medalist Alida van der Merwe. It's a huge lineup, and last year's podium athletes here as well.
Yeah, no, once again, another action-packed day. For some of these athletes, it is their last Junior World Championship, so they will be giving it their all in this men's final.
Well, as you can see, the bracket is up already. We have two fights in the incomplete round of 32. We're on two pieces. We have a feature piece, which will be in the main picture. I'm taking you through the fights there, and a leader will be taking us through the fights happening just behind our cameras on piece B, and you'll see action from that piece in a box, picture-in-picture on the top right of your screen. So we get the men's direct elimination fencing ranking round underway. And as if by magic, up comes piece B as well. So on A here, we have Abouama on the left for Egypt, Tasyaran of Turkey on the right. On the B piece, it's Diego Lavilla and Ivan Liberal as well, fencing there. This for a place in the complete round of 16.
Well, it's Liberal on piece B who picks up that first point against the Frenchman Lavilla. We know Liberal, who ran his way into this men's final, starting off in 18th all the way to the 9th spot. But it's a fresh start for all these men, and it's Liberal who picks up the second point on piece B.
Well, on A, Abouama gets the first point in this match with a remise of the attack in close quarters. Tasyaran had a little ask whether he'd gone past, but he hadn't. And now Abouama, well, I was just about to say he's playing a cautious game, but he launched in an attack there, perhaps a little unwise. It was a bit too far away, and Tasyaran picks up the levelling point.
Well, with 25 seconds left, Lavilla goes for the flesh. He gets the point, making the score 1-3. 22 seconds left. So much can happen with Lavilla and Manzanas.
Tasyaran happy to stick with a defensive approach to this match. He's just letting Abouama come on to him, and he's gone crucially 1 point up inside 10 seconds, but Abouama levels things up. Now, we're going to mention that the scores can be tied at the end of the minute. If they are tied, the higher-ranked fencer goes through, and in this match, that would be Tasyaran. So Abouama goes for it again, and, I think there's a big tumble there from Abouama.
Lavilat goes for the flesh attack on piece B. Doesn't quite get it. Will start with the ref called halt.
Abuama goes for it again, having nearly taken out the camera and camera operator on this feature piece. He's now taken the lead, and on the counter-attack, gets the fourth hit. Tashiran having no choice but to go after it, and this one is done. Abuama is going to progress, and he will face the top seed in the next round.
Well, tension is building up on piece B as Lavilat gets the next point, making it 3-4. Lavilat, the lowest seeded fencer here, with only 7 seconds left. He will go for that attack, but Liberal is waiting for him. And it's Lavilat who gets that fourth point, 4-4. So Lavilat is the lowest seeded fencer, and he will have to go for that one touch.
Well, we've just seen Tashiran demonstrating what happens when you're behind and running out of time. You just launch yourself at your opponent. Abuama stays on the feature piece, and it is the top seed he will face next, Lee Ju-chan of Korea. Abuama looking to climb through the ranks here.
Looks like there was a no touch between Lavilat and Liberal, so they're just taking down the clock to where the ref called halt. Tension builds up. Liberal can just go to the back of the piece. He is the highest seeded fencer, so it will be Lavilat looking for that one touch, that one light.
Underway then in this round of 16 match. We've just advanced a little bit ahead of the two-piece. They do tend to level up as we get to the quarterfinals.
And it's victory for Liberal, the Spaniard, as we say goodbye to Lavilat on his fencing run. Liberal will be up next against Sich of Ukraine.
What? Desperately trying to get that first hit. Abuama misses the first and the second attempts. Lee holds his composure to land the counter the second time of asking. The Korean top seed in control, and nicely done. Circular cease, parry, the clockwise circular parry, then going down into the low line with his blade to hit in the 8 line, or octave as it's known. This time going the other way. Now, Abuama had gone past there, and Lee is allowed one attempt to hit his opponent after he's gone past. He didn't hit with that one, scored with the second, so it was annulled. Lee, look at him. He's teasing Abuama, showing the underside of his wrist and trying to get Abuama to attack. And Abuama played into the trap as Liberal and Sich prepare on the, well, they're underway on the B piece. Any action there yet?
Liberal and Sich just started off. Liberal on the left-hand side and Sich on the right-hand side of your top screen. Sich being the highest seeded fencer, second in the seeding round with 24 touches.
Meanwhile, Lee Ju-chan is mixing up his 8 and 6 lines. 8's the low line towards your front knee with your hand. 6 is the line above it, the high line.
And it's the first point goes to Liberal on piece B there.
Well, just a little confusion here on the feature piece. There was a hit scored by Lee, but the referee had originally annulled it. And Lee does the job, finishes off the top seed, goes through to the quarterfinals.
So just a pause with the action up on piece B, but here's a replay.
Yeah, we get a look at, is this the hit that was annulled? Yes, it was, and then finally a ducking counter from the Korean sees him through.
Only 22 seconds left on piece B. And touch goes to Liberal of Spain. Sich needs to respond if he is the second highest seeded fencer here, as he does so, applying pressure onto Liberal. Liberal responding to Sich as he goes for the flesh attack, but it's Sich victorious with that first touch. There's only yet 12 seconds left on piece B, action is here.
Well, action's also on the A piste because the reigning world champion Mutas Mohammed of Egypt starts his fencing direct elimination round. He's on the left, going up against the higher seeded Andrei Bobrov from. He was 11th at last year's World Championship, so the champion against someone who finished in the top 16.
Double point on piece B, 3-4 with only 1.17 seconds left. Will Sich just go towards the back of the piece in defense? And it clocks out victory for Sich.
Top two seeds through then, safely to the quarterfinals. A double scored here between Mohammed and Bobrov. You've got to think that Mohammed will be... Oh, it's a lovely hit under the wrist for Bobrov. Beautiful touch there for the athlete who's representing himself at this competition, a neutral athlete. And Mohammed is having to press the go faster button here because he's running out of time, and he really will be looking to try and progress a bit further through the fence than the 16. But Bobrov has got other ideas here, and he's taken full control of this fight with 13 seconds left to go. Mohammed is looking in trouble as Kvyatchenia goes up against Clergeau on the B piste.
Clergeau picks up that first point on piste B up against Kvyatchenia. 44 seconds left. Clergeau, the higher seeded fencer, but it's Kvyatchenia going for the attack there, pushing Clergeau to the back of the piece, but it's Clergeau with a second touch.
French are the top two National Olympic Committees in the fencing of the Olympic Games. They're in a tight tussle at the top of the medal count with Italy. Fencing in pentathlon is just a little bit different though. Less time means more action as Mohammed is trying to close this gap up against Bobrov. They run into each other. I wonder if Bobrov's going to get a card here for forcing Korokor. I mean, Korokor doesn't really exist in épée. It's more barging. Let's see whether the referee gave a card or not there, but matters not.
Time is ticking on piece B, 2-3, and it's Kvyatchenia who gets the point against Clergeau. Clergeau needs to respond. He is the highest seeded fencer. He can't go towards the back of the piece.
But Bobrov has gone through on time here, 4-3, and Mohammed, the reigning champion, has not managed to go as far as he would like to in the fence. He's going to remain in the bottom half of the draw at the moment, and that was the beautiful hit to the inside of the wrist. Let's see it from the other side, and often referred to as punching the point there, because it looks like Mohammed puts his wrist onto his opponent's sword.
Well, tension is building on piece B, 4.9 seconds left, but it's a clock down, and it's Clergeau, highest seeded fencer, wins that bout. Good run from Kvyatchenia, and we'll see Clergeau up against next against Sich.
We move on the feature piece, and it's neutral athlete Shchukin taking on Rybak. Rybak on the left of the piece.
Rybak from Ukraine against Shchukin. And on piece B, next up, Hassan from Egypt.
Shchukin trying to get in on the attack, and then unfortunately for him, he got a bit stuck there, and Rybak had picked up the blade, picks off his first hit. As on the B piece, Schoen of France prepares to face Hassan of Egypt. Just getting hooked up over there at the moment, and Rybak performs a similar trick on the defense, wrapping up his opponent's blade into a binding parry riposte.
Piece B, we have Schoen on the left-hand side, Hassan on the right-hand side, higher seeded fencer, and it's Hassan who gets the first touch, 45 seconds left. Shun will need to respond.
Shishkin gets off the mark with a double. If both fencers hit within 0.02 of a second, they'll both score a point, but Shishkin gets his first single light of the match and is now just 1 point behind. He is the higher seed, the neutral athlete, so if he can get level, it will mean Rybak will have to go after the attack.
It's 1-1 for Shun and Hassan. Shun applying pressure to Hassan towards the back, goes for the flesh, and it's a second intention action there from Hassan and scores it. Scores 1-2, 20 seconds left on the clock.
The time ticking away here. Shishkin had no option but to go for it, and he's had to do that again, and Rybak has upset the rankings. He moves on into the quarterfinals, taking out the number 5 seed.
Third point there for Hassan. Hassan is on fire on piece B. 19 seconds left. Still so much can happen as Shun puts their pressure on Hassan, looking for the attack with the French grip. He goes for the flesh. We'll have to see what happens, but it's Hassan who gets the touch.
Well, the Hungarian crowd just outside the tent here cheering on Otos Tamás, who comes onto the piste, and he goes up against Popov from Ukraine.
Love to get a replay of that match with Hassan. Touch behind the back there from Hassan, fencing finesse.
Well, Tamás keeping the local crowd happy here with his first touch. Hassan taking out Shun in the bottom half of the draw. This is for a place in the quarterfinals. Tamás going after the attack, but Popov ready for it with a double. That means that Tamás keeps the advantage of the lead, and he is the higher ranked fencer. Not a lot of action in this match, given that there's still 40 seconds left to go. Well, there's one more fight coming on the B piste, and that's Hume of Great Britain against Kalle Minskas of Lithuania, and that will be another fight to make the quarterfinals, when we will switch just to this single piece that we're on here, and the doubles working out for Tamás as he edges ever closer to the target score of 5, and we're very likely to get there. 7 hits between them in this fight, and we've still got 30-odd seconds to go. Raised pistes often pose a little bit of a problem if they don't have much of an apron.
So just on piece B, Kalle Minskas just hit the side of the floor there, so it's no touch. Bout will reset. Some active footwork there from Hume, patiently waiting for Kalle Minskas' flesh attack.
Well, here Popov has levelled up with Tamás.
And it's point to Hume with only 16 seconds left on the clock.
Double at 4-4, matters not.
Hume picks up the second point, once again really reading his opponent to the point, knows that Kalle Minskas is going to go for the attack and just patiently waiting for that riposte defense, but action.
Oh. Popov looked well out of this, but he played a patient game, and Roman Popov has upset the 4th seed. Popov advances into the quarterfinals. The Ukrainian is through to face his teammate.
6 seconds left on piece B. 3-0 for Hume. He goes for the duck, but it's Kalle Minskas who just gets that point. Less than 6 seconds left on the clock. And it's a double touch. Excuse me. 2-3 for Hume on piece B. 3 seconds left. Hume will go to the back of the piece as Kalle Minskas tries to get that touch, and it's Hume with the victory, with that 4-2 lead.
Yeah, just a few seconds left on the clock there. Difficult for his opponent to come back in that match. So we start the quarterfinals on the A-Piste. Lee of Korea, the top seed, up against Bobrov, the neutral athlete, ranked 8th coming into this direct elimination round. Lee's got a lovely little fencing style, very classical, and that balance of the body and the feet is quite something. I wonder if he trains with the very, very good Korean fencing team. I won't be too surprised if he trains on the old Olympic Park in Seoul.
Just towards the back of the piece, but it seems as if no touch there.
Hit the outside of the piece when he's going for his 8 parry.
He has a rather definitive parry there. Really strong and takes the blade, but it's point for Bob. No point.
No point there. I think, because he'd gone off the piece. Lee had gone off the piece, and that's what the referee had called halt for. But he's pinned to the back line here.
So not much space for Lee to go back for the defense, but it's Bobrov who just gets that attack. Read his opponent, and that's great tactic there from Bobrov, turning him towards the back of the piece where there's not much space for him to go off. And he does so again. Lee has to attack in this position, but it's a double point.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? He's just going backwards, and he does like playing the defensive game, but he's getting outplayed here by Bobrov. Don't forget he's the higher seed, though.
He knew he was just about to get off the piece, and he locked his back foot there, just getting the low line on to Bobrov.
Well, does it on time. That was a little bit of a challenge for the top seed, but Lee of Korea is through. And you can see there's a little bit of relief there for him. Final action going to the back line, and then that massive circular parry. Big action with the hand there, and just almost going into the splits in an effort to make sure he stays on the 14-meter piste. You go off the back, it's a point to your opponent. So we move on to the second quarterfinal, and first of 3 Koreans that make up the 8 in the quarterfinals. Sorry, Ukrainians, I should say. Clergeau of France on the left, and Danilo Sich of Ukraine on the right. Sich, the number 2 seed.
Clergeau with the French grip, left hand too, using slight movements there, but it's Sich just keeping the distance against Clergeau. Clergeau setting up his attack. He's the lower seeded fencer, and it's Sich showing precision onto Clergeau's hand there.
Well, they're in a tent at the end of the obstacle course here. It's got 1 full open side and 2 semi-open sides, but it is a little bit stifling in there. You may well have heard a little bit of breeze across our microphones out there. That will become as some comfort to these athletes. The kit now in fencing very lightweight, obviously very, very robust as well, but that mask is can be very stifling as Clergeau levels the score.
Sich does have a little bit more of a reach as he is a bit taller and just gets the points above, but it's Clergeau who nevertheless responds and gets that second point up against Sich. 22 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, lefty Pomela. It does it again on the outside, and Sich is leaving the outside of his right arm exposed there. Clergeau's picked him off twice with the same type of hit, and a third time. You cannot make the same mistake twice in fencing. 3 times, it's suicide when you've only going to 5 hits. That time he showed it to him. A little bit of a second intention there. Here, have another go at it, and then blocked it out.
Just to be looking for that point just above Clergeau's hand, but Clergeau goes for the foot, doesn't quite get it.
Well,
from Sich, and it's Clergeau who scores and wins this bout, kicking off the second highest ranked fencer in this men's finals.
Yeah, the hits around the outside were the key to that match for Clergeau. Lefty against righty. You've got to protect the sword arm side. And Clergeau got plenty of his teammates outside of the tent giving support. He goes through, taking out second seed. And now we move on to Hassan of Egypt, and he'll face Hume of Great Britain. This should be an interesting one because both of these guys can fence, and they're looking to gain points against each other, because fancy we might see these two athletes feature a little bit later on in the chase for medals at these World Championships. Lefty against righty again, and this time they're on other sides of the piece, so we've got limited view. We can't see hits to the body of either athlete.
James has really been making use of his strong defense actions. Just as he gets the touch against Hassan's attack, Hassan lightning fast with his attacks, but it's Hume who just responds there.
Great use of absence of blade there from Hume, deceiving his opponent trying to take the blade and then hitting on the inside of the arm. Real great accuracy for the British fencer. I should say British pentathlete.
Hume towards the back of the piece now, should take care so that he doesn't go off. But it's Hassan who goes for the flash and just gets it underneath. We'll see if a point is scored. Don't think quite on target for Hassan. Humes is towards the back of the piece. Will either have to attack or respond with a defensive move. But it's Hassan who goes for the flesh, and it's a double point.
Clever use of the half step from James Hume. You've watched, he's sometimes doing full steps, so the front foot and the back foot move. He's sometimes doing half steps where the front foot goes forward and it looks like you're in distance because your body moves with it. And that's what lures your opponent in, and then he just steps back the front foot. Hits with the riposte as he tried there. Now, he should get that hit. The first one didn't land, but I don't think Hassan had gone past at that point. I think the referee is going to annul that hit. I'd have a little word with the referee if I was James Hume. I think it may have distracted him as well, because now Hassan has drawn a level. Hume, the higher ranked fencer, after this seeding round. He's number 3. Hassan number 6.
Hassan going for the attack, but it's Hume who just gets that point. He read his opponent to the point, and he knew he was going to go for the attack. Hassan runs for the flesh. James towards the back of the piece. Scores 2-4. 2 seconds left on the clock. Hassan is looking to find a point in here, but it might not just be enough time for him.
Well, enough time for Hume to get the final hit as Hassan went after him. Hume through to the semi-finals, and he's pretty happy with that. He had a good fence in the semi-finals. He set himself up here well, making the top 4 as we take a look at that final hit on the counter. Hassan a little bit in and out with his arm, and the coach in a little bit of despair over that. One more quarter-final to come here, place in the top 4. We'll see the 2 Ukrainians go up against each other. Sich was number 2 seed, but was disposed of by Clergeau of France. One Ukrainian will make it through, as Popov will face Rybak.
Popov, last year's bronze medalist at the Junior World Championships. He'll be looking to pick up a medal again, but he has some work to do in the fencing. Lefty versus righty. Just fixing of the blade there from Popov with the bend.
Underway, both using the pistol grip here, but Popov a little bit taller than Rybak, so will have extra reach. Unorthodox hand position for both of these fencers. Perhaps exaggerated by the fact, as the leader said, we've got a lefty against a righty.
So both Ukrainian athletes, they probably are very familiar with each other and their styles, but it's Rybak gets it on the leg there. Not much movement left and right on the piste.
Yeah, they're definitely being cagey, aren't they? They definitely know each other. They'll know each other's strengths and weaknesses. Oh, Rybak just getting a little scrappy on that one.
Just 16 seconds left on the clock. Oh, Popov just nips it underneath Rybak's hand there. Precision is spot on of Popov.
See Rybak still going for it, but that will do it. Popov demonstrating superior fencing skills here, makes it through to the semi-finals where he'll face the top seed, Lee. In the other half of the draw, it's Hume against Clergeau. We just see here the final action, and Rybak just getting a little bit scrappy on a couple of occasions. I think he was trying a bit of second intention. The idea was right, but the execution wasn't quite there. Straight into the semi-finals then, and Li Juchuan is the man to beat at the moment. If you're into your classical fencing, he is the man to watch. But modern pentathlon fencing is not just about style. In fact, it's nothing to do with style. It's all about points.
You can see now Popov, who is the lowest seeded fencer, is applying pressure onto Lee, pushing him towards the back of the piste, but we know Lee can handle the pressure at the back of the piste. Popov goes for the attack, and he gets it. Lee now switching up as he goes to the left-hand side of the piste. He will look for that lunge, but it's Popov who just gets it on top of his hand there. Popov really precise with his point control.
Oh, that is special. That hit there deserves to be seen time and time again. He made that look simple, and it certainly isn't. Hitting below the wrist, absolutely stunning hit. Lee, in a spot of bother here, has got one back. Is he going after this one a little bit too early? Still got 20 seconds left. Yeah. Not setting anything up here, just going into distance and trying to hit his opponent, who's taller than him. That was a nice little flick over the top.
Yeah, Popov sort of not as dynamic with his footwork, but he's so precise with his position control. So he does fall behind, but he, with that said, picks up that 5th point, which will make him victorious.
Yeah, he goes through to the final. And the 3rd hit in particular was something special. Look at this. Oh, and he just caught the Korean flat-footed. You've talked about this before, catching your opponent halfway through a step, and he just did just that. Front foot's moved forward from the Korean, and then the distance was there for Popov to launch, and he looked the better fencer in that fight, tactically and with his execution. Who is he going to face in the final? Will it be this man here, James Hume of Great Britain? Or will it be Etienne Clergeau on the left-hand side of the piste, the pommeler, using the French grip? Gets a little bit of extra reach with the straight grip, but with it loses a little bit of control. Up against a more commonly used pistol grip fencer in James Hume.
Clergeau just searching for that timing. Goes for the foot, doesn't quite get it. Will he be using it as a feint attack? He prepares himself for an attack, as you can see, as he's just pushing Hume towards the back of the piece, but we know Hume to respond with attacks in this position. And it's Hume who collects that blade up and above of Clergeau's hand.
Both of them playing with absence of blade, so they're not trying to beat each other's blade. Well, they certainly weren't in the first phrasing. Oh, that is nice from Hume.
Excellent stuff there. Clergeau tried to use the foot touch as a feint and go up above, but it was Hume who read it beautifully, picked up his blade and picked that second point up. Just 22 seconds left. Hume looking comfortable in this bout.
The thing is, he's using distance as a weapon, Hume, and if he gets forced to the back line too much, that weapon will be negated. Etienne Clergeau getting off the mark, but only with a double. Hume's in control of this, isn't he?
He seems really comfortable towards the back of the piece. I mean, most of our bouts we've seen him in that spot, but really makes use of it. But it's Clergeau victorious with that third touch. Less but 9 seconds left in this bout. Anything can happen. Will Hume use the same tactic and go towards the back of the piece, or will he apply pressure to Clergeau?
Might try some kind of binding action, trying to take his opponent's blade. And that is exactly what he does to finish the job off. I'm pretty sure there was a shout from the coach there. Grab hold of Clergeau's blade, please, James. He's got the better of you in absence of blade, but Hume does it. Watch this, just picks up the blade a couple of times, in fact. The final one, sweeping around from the 4 line, down into the 8 line for the left-hander, and then through to the body for his 5th hit. And the win here to make the fencing direct elimination final. He's going to face Popov, who has fenced superbly well. Lots of support here for the Brit, but there are plenty of Ukrainians here who've been competing and in the support staff. So both of these athletes are going to get a lot of support here, and both of these athletes are going to get a hat full of points moving into the next phase of this Pentathlon Junior World Championship Fens final.
Popov finished 13th in the seeding round, so really making use of that second chance in the direct elimination. As he applies pressure, but it's Hume with the first touch, only in the first 10 seconds. Great stuff from Hume.
Hume was the 3rd in the seeding round, Popov the 13th.
And so we see again Hume towards the back of the piece here. He's comfortable here. Don't clear him out yet, but it's Popov who goes for the flesh, doesn't quite get it, and Hume picks up his blade and riposte for that second touch.
Yeah, again going down into the low line with that 8-line parry, Octave closing out and into the body. You know you're safe when you've got hold of your opponent's blade. You can't get hit that well. Now, is he going to get that? Did he get that second attempt before he went past? I think he did, but was he off the piste? Popov not really making any moves for an appeal there. Hume in control now.
Popov went for the foot touch and went for the second lunge, but it was a double point there that Hume picked up against Popov. Only 20 seconds left, 4-1 for Hume. And it's victorious for James Hume of Great Britain. Excellent stuff there. He's the winner of the men's direct elimination round, picking up 250 points, and Popov with 244. This puts Popov in a dangerous medal contention too.
Yeah, a huge climb up the rankings as we look at that last hit. Hume took control of the match early doors with a real fake to foot before a binding para riposte. In fact, we saw a couple of those, and then shows a bit of variety with flicks over the top onto the wrist. That attempt to foot, he tried again, didn't quite get it. And Hume wins the fencing direct elimination and has moved up the rankings, but Popov has made a bigger move up the rankings from 13th all the way up to 2nd after the first discipline. And here is the route that Hume took, coming from the middle of the round of 16, taking out Kalaminskas of Lithuania, Hassan from Egypt, Clergeot of France, before beating Roman Popov of Ukraine. But Popov has made some big strides through the pack here after the first of 5 disciplines in this Junior World Championships. This is how the table looks after the fence. James Hume rising 2 places to the top of the rankings. Popov rising 11 places into 2nd place. Etienne Clergeot climbs 3 as Li Juchan drops 2. Sich makes a big drop down as well. Moves and shakers from Ukraine as well, but look at the 9 to 12 dropping like stones in a pond. 5 moves down for Tamash and Shishkin. Abouama making 1 step towards the podium, but only 1 place gained in the fencing DE. And Kalaminskas and Liberal staying where they are, as is Diego Lavillat of France. The obstacle course is coming next. But before we move on to that very exciting discipline, let's take a look back at the fence. Well, James Hume making his mark in the fence, taking top spot, but it's Popov from Ukraine who has made the biggest stride to the pack so far. The fence is done and we move on to the very exciting obstacle race. 8 obstacles over 70 metres. They go off in pairs, but you're not racing against your opponent. You are going up against the clock. And it is a real challenge, this. Unfortunately, we've got a bird's eye view of what it looks like for the athletes.
And here we have a point of view from Gergo Broekman, who is the voice of this competition, as he finesses through the tilted ladders of this obstacle, over, under, and through. As he makes his way to the ascending bars. As you can see, they just go higher and higher with these horizontal bars there. Through the giant steps onto the second last of the obstacles, the swinging globes. Looks how he skips a globe, keeps the momentum and swing for the glorious finish wall and to clock on that finish buzzer.
Serious challenge. The 2 overhead obstacles, well, there's 3. There's this one right at the beginning, but the 2 overhead obstacles towards the end are a real challenge. They go off in pairs, as I said, 9 heats, and Diego Lavillat will go up against Kivanch Tassiran for the first heat, and then we will move through. And this is pretty fast-paced stuff. Don't take your eye off of it as well. Look for the different techniques from the athletes. We're going to see some athletes doing some incredible athletic manoeuvres through these obstacles. Valery Shishkin and Boton Tamash, that should be an interesting matchup. And we come right the way through until the 9th leg, where the top 2 after the fence will face each other. Roman Popov and James Hume leading the World Championship final for the men here in Székesfehérvár. So Lavillat from France, getting ready for the first heat, going up against Tassiran. These 2 will be looking to make their moves here. Fastest time. The quicker you go, the more points you get. So we need to be looking at the clock here, not who finishes first.
And they're off to the big wheel, straight into the tilted ladders. Lavillat wasting no time as he skips through those ladders. pops over, slides under, through, onto the ascending bars. Builds that momentum, keeps it up, sticks the landing. Through the giant steps as he skips that first swinging globe, making use of that turning of his torso. Nails it, no time to waste, onto the tall finish wall, clocks it around 26 seconds. Tascheran making his finish here, to the finish wall, digs deep, 33 seconds for Tascheran, 34 seconds for Tascheran of Turkey. Look out for times around 25 seconds. We did have a world record here from Abu Amr. It was first broken by Collins of Ireland in the qualifications of 21.6, but it was Abu Amr who got 21.2. So keep an eye out for that, but we won't necessarily be seeing world records in this men's final.
Well, we don't have to wait too long because Abu Amr's coming out now. He's on in the white shirt, going up against Liberal in red.
It's the big wheel onto the tilted ladders. Tilted ladder 1, 2, and 3. Goes over, under, and through. Makes his way to the ascending bar. Skips that third one. It's the launch he needed to stick that landing as well onto the great big steps. Swinging globes it is. Look how he gets that reach from twisting his body. Skips it. What will he do? Under 25 seconds.
Oh my goodness me.
Liberal just went back there for ascending bars. He will need to make a great big leap for the swinging globes. Makes a use of a different technique here. He makes his way to the finish wall. And it's 52 seconds for Liberal. Well, I'll tell you what, any time is better than elimination in point scoring. So,
yeah.
Great finish from Liberal.
Yeah, it was a good finish from him, but I have to say, I wonder whether he's a little bit fatigued because his head went down there a little bit. And good on him to finish, but we'll need to keep an eye on how he fares through the next discipline. But what a run from Mustafa Abu Amr. Into the third heat, Jonas Kalaminskas from Lithuania against Florent Schön of France. Schön closest to us.
Kalaminskas skips that second tilted ladder. Incredible from Kalaminskas. Over, under, and through. Will he skip it? He goes left, right for the sticking the landing. Giant steps. No time to waste for the swinging globes. Making a use of a compact frame. Lands it. Finish wall for Kalaminskas. Will it be the fastest time of today? 25.6 seconds for Kalaminskas. Schön finishing off 34 seconds for Schön of France.
Well, the smooth transition from obstacle to obstacle for Jonas Kalaminskas was there for all to see. 25.06, what a time from him.
Kalaminskas just really making use of his long wingspan, the long limbs that he uses, reducing his swing. Great stuff there from Kalaminskas.
Fabulous stuff. We move on to heat number 4. Vyadchinia, the neutral athlete, going up against Mohamed Mutas. Mutas closest to us, looking to make strides through the reigning champion in the obstacles, but he's fallen behind already.
Onto the over, under, and through. It's for Vyadchinia here, ascending bars. But as Mutas is catching up, Vyadchinia onto the big steps. He will skip that first swinging globe, making use of that momentum as he drives through with his hips, nails that landing. It's a finish walk. Vyadchinia, 26 seconds, 27 for Vyadchinia, and 29 for Mohamed Mutas.
Mutas struggling to climb through the pack, and I think Vyadchinia there was motivated by the fact he was paired up against the reigning world champion. Mutas Mohamed having a little bit of a struggle here. Again, if you can manage those overhead obstacles well, it gives you such a massive advantage. So, Poton Tamas of Hungary, closest to us, goes up against the neutral athlete, Valery Shechukin.
Onto the tilted ladders for these men. No time to waste for Tamas. Nails that landing. He pops over, slides under, goes right through. He will skip that second ascending bar, keeping that momentum left and right. It's the big steps, but onto the swinging globes. Look at that momentum, look at that drive. A little bit of left and right movement, but nails that landing. Digs deep for that finish. It's just under 30 seconds. Shechukin, what will he clock on? Just under 35? It is 34 for Shechukin.
Magic stuff from Boton to Tamash. Got a big rousing applause from the crowd here. Good action, but that little bit of movement you talked about on the globes just started to go side to side a tiny bit, and that made the landing difficult for him, but he recovered quickly. And now we have Bobrov, the neutral athlete, going up against Rybak. And watch out for the man closest to us, especially on the sending bars. He was practicing by skipping the first two.
Nails those tilted bars, flips under, he slips there, he makes it up. Great recovery from Bobrov. He skips to the third one, as you called it, Karim. No time to waste as he does a great comeback in this obstacle course. It's the swinging bars, swinging globes for Bobrov. Look at that drive, the hip drive. You'll be a sprint finish for this finish wall.
Oh, he's missed the buzzer. A couple of mistakes from Bobrov puts him at 34.6 and 33.65. I think Bobrov will be ruining those couple of mistakes there, but that leap to the third bar, oh, look at his hands. Wow, that's pretty painful for Rybak. But the mistake there, I thought I was going to set him up poorly for that attempt to go for the third bar there in the ascending bars, but he managed to do it.
I'll tell you what, it was a risk he was worth taking, and he took the risk going for that third ascending bars. But what a recovery and what a comeback from Bobrov, staying composed.
Mohammad Hassan with the white T-shirt goes in heat number 7 up against Danilo Sich of Ukraine, closest to us.
And they're off to the giant wheel, straight into the tilted ladders. Watch what Hassan does here. Hassan is onto the over, under, and through with no time to waste. Onto the ascending bars. He skips that first one, flips over. No 1-2 movements from Hassan as he makes his way to the swinging globes. Taking risks here, Hassan. Look at that reach. He's driving through, sticks that landing, sprint for the finish wall. It is 27 seconds for Hassan and Sich with 30 seconds there.
These are all spectacular times, but anything that starts with a 2 is going to give you a good run here in the obstacle course. Just 2 heats to go, and look at
Hassan just leaps through, letting go of both of his hands, not just one. I tell you, that is not an easy thing to do. Great stuff from Hassan. Should be pleased with that.
Penultimate heat, Li Juchuan closest to us, Etienne Clergeau on the far side, Korea versus France versus the clock.
Oh, watch Clergeau tackle those tilted ladders. Makes his way over, under, through. Neck and neck with Li. Onto the ascending bars. Look how in sync they are with every single movement. It is a fight. It is a race here. Onto the swinging globes. They skip the first one. Go on to the second one. Look at that reach that they're just driving through. But it's Li making a string for the finish wall. It is under 30 seconds. It is 28 seconds for Li. But it's Clergeau who had a penalty on the swinging globes. Will have to repeat himself here. He'll have to make sure not to make that left and right movement, or else it's really going to be tricky to build that momentum. Clergeau is finishing up the swinging globes. He needs to hold on tight with that grip endurance. Oh, and he nails that landing. Clergeau with 53 seconds. I tell you, what a performance from Clergeau. Despite having to have a penalty there, he really came back and just determined to finish this obstacle race.
Yeah, but it's going to drop him a long way back. He was in the top 4 coming into this after the fence, and he'll rue that mistake. But Li Juchuan, absolutely fantastic. But that was impressive, wasn't it? The core strength to stay out of the pit. And we go to our last heat. Roman Popov against James Hume. Hume closest to us.
onto the big wheel, straight into the tilted that. He skips that first net.
Oh my goodness me!
Over, under, through. James is on a roll here. He makes his way to the ascending bar, skips to the third one, drives that momentum, and nails it. Onto the giant steps, swinging globes it is. Will he build that momentum? Oh, he doesn't even use any swing there, doesn't need it. Upper body strength from Hume. Will it be the fastest time today? And it's 25 seconds for Hume, 26 seconds for Hume, and it's Popov making his final run for the finish wall under 33 seconds.
What a discipline. This is panning out to be a huge success for modern pentathlon, who've been through some changes since Paris 2024. But the obstacle course is proving to be a fabulous spectacle. James Hume was absolutely electric.
Really, just look how he makes use of tucking his legs in to keep the momentum that he built, and it's that landing that he sticks. James is on a roll here, but look at how he grabs for the third one. Let's go, both hands. Just excellent stuff from Hume.
Grit, determination, a mixture of all the techniques we've seen from the other athletes combined for a 26:23. Not quite the fastest time. I got that down as a 25:06 for Kalaminskas of Lithuania, but worth the big cheer. Happy with his performance. James Hume of Great Britain has scored some big points here. After the fence and the obstacle course, Hume has moved up another place. He's now top of the pile. Li Juchuan climbs up as well, but look at the gap that Hume has got already at the top. 20 points the difference between first and second, and then the athletes start dropping away, and you're already starting to think as you get down to Thomas Botan Tamas and Abu Amma, and what about the reigning champion? 571 points. He's climbed up. Abu Amma's climbed up 5 points, but the gap already looking big here. This is the bottom of the pile, but the first two disciplines have been completed here. The obstacle course yet again. Well, we can barely keep our wits about us. They go so fast. They're going to move on to the pool, but before they do, let's take a look back over the fabulous obstacle course race. James Hume climbs to the top of the rankings after two disciplines. The men's final of the Junior World Championships. We've done the fence, we've been through the obstacle course, lightning pace, and now we move to the pool for the third discipline. 200-meter freestyle, another race against the clock like the obstacles on this 50-meter pool. And the pool is a couple of kilometres away, just under a couple of kilometres away from where we are right now in the main venue. So the athletes have to transition from obstacle to swim, and they do that with the help of the local organising committee. They make their way out of the stadium. They walk over to the car park where the lovely air-conditioned vans are waiting for them. And then they go on this little ride to the lovely town here, the City of Kings. And they don't go quite as quickly as this. Little left turn here, and then we arrive at the pool. Walk through the door, and this is what is waiting for them. 50-meter pool for the athletes to swim. So I'll quickly do some maths here. 200 meters divided by 4, I think it's 4 laps. And they go into the pool. They'll swim their 4 laps against the clock. It's all against the clock here. Now, it does take around about, well, I think for the women's final, they did it in about 12 minutes. It was incredible turnaround time. but it does give them a little bit of an extra break. And it gives us a chance to hear from the athletes. What about listening to last year's world champion?
Hello, I'm Mutaz Mohammed. I'm Egyptian modern pentathlete. I am a junior world champion and a couple World Cup medalist. So hello. I think most probably I'll be focused how I will do in the pool, you know, to organize my brain to, like, I organize the 200 meter how I will do it. I think it's something good to go to swimming after OCR because it's, you know, refreshing. And after that we go to the laser run. So of course the mental health or the visualizing the competition, it's a huge part. My family and my coach are my mental coaches, you know. So if you are not good physically, mentally can help you. If you are not good mentally, I don't think physically you will manage to do great. So as a modern pentathlete, you have to focus at one discipline at a time. So I will probably be focusing on how I will do great swim with saving a lot of energy, because laser run take a lot of energy and a lot of my focus. So I'm trying to save energy as swimming. So.
Well, I'm not sure that he's going to have that much of an option. Maybe he doesn't have to go full tilt, but Mustafa Mutaz Mohammed, he's down in 11th place on 571 modern pentathlon points. So my math says he is, 46 points behind the leader, James Hume?
46 points behind James Hume, but only about 25 seconds from 2 and 3. I'll tell you what, watch out for Mutaz Mohammed. Don't quite rule him out yet. He also has a good swim, and given that he's a good laser run athlete, he can put a good swim in to put himself in a better position for the start of the laser run.
Yeah, I mean, it's too early to make really big calls here, but Hume has built an incredible lead, and guess what? We had a chat with him as well.
Hi, my name is James Hume. I'm a modern pentathlete competing for Great Britain. The transition's only 5 minutes after the OCR, so it's quite a tight turnaround. But for me, I just do a lot of band work and get my shoulders engaged, ready for the swim. OCR does help that, but getting more band work in there to help my pull and my catch in the swimming pool is good. You're not allowed in the swim post-OCR, so you can't do any swim warm-up, so it's all doing it on land, so it's quite tough, but you get it done. I manage the OCR by a lot of visualization, purely because the OCR, there's a lot of points and there's a lot of pressure for it, because it's a new discipline. The confidence is a bit lower than the other disciplines, so just doing a lot of visualization before I do the race is optimal for me, so that's what I do. I think the main thing for me is staying present, so actually just focusing on the first, like the one discipline at a time and taking it each discipline at a time, whether that's in the laser run, like running and then just focusing on the shoot, but like especially for the OCR, if you think about anything else, you're probably more likely to fall off, so just focusing on that OCR discipline is pretty key. But yeah, just staying present in the moment and just not thinking about the future. That's what I try and do anyway. Personally, I like to go a bit easier in the swim so I can run a bit harder, purely because of the points in the swim isn't as much as it would be in the run. So, like, saving my energy after in the last 100 metres of the swim is probably what I do most. Why do I like modern pentathlon? Because if I just did one sport, I think I'd be quite bored. So doing all 5 sports is quite fun and it's interesting.
Well, you're certainly keeping us interested, James Hume. I mean, he's started in a relatively good position, but he's moved up to first, but it's that gap in points that he's built already that's looking pretty good. He's talking about using bands, so resistance bands to stretch out the arms. What's the purpose of that for the swim?
Yep, so ultimately using resistance bands is just to get that muscle activation of those certain swimming muscles. But James really pointed out some important points here in modern pentathlon. He talked about the general warm-up that we have before the start of the final. So they're given a 1 hour general warm-up where they can either have a dip in the pool, around through the obstacle course, or even just get a fencing lesson in with their coach. But it's all personal to athlete. But a lot of dry land training and dry land warm-up is quite ideal before the start of this fencing format.
Yeah, top 5, just looking at those points. And I know that we can see lots of gains, especially on the laser run, especially in the range on the laser run. We won't talk too much about that right now, but there's quite a spread of points across the top 8. On Tamash on 5.76, James Hume at the top on 6.17, and each of those points is a second handicap in the laser run. So you'll start, for every point you're behind, you'll start a second behind the person in front of you, and of course the person who's leading out, which at the moment is looking like James Hume. What can we expect then in the pool? Do you think the top 3 or 4 will, I'm not going to say take it easy, but keep some reserve in the bank?
Yeah, so then again, it's really different from pentathlete to pentathlete. It's all about self-awareness being as a pentathlete and knowing where your strengths lie. And whether it be in the swimming pool, you might want to actually try get a better swim in so you can have a strong start for the laser run. But today is all about that gold, silver and bronze. James mentioned how he usually likes to go a bit easier in the swimming. He's about 15 seconds ahead of Lee Ju-chan, who's in second place. So James would probably be looking to put in that easier swim, but other pentathletes who are maybe stronger in the laser run will be putting in a harder swim than the others. But here's our lineup for the first heat.
Yep, 3 heats to come in the pool, and we've got Laviat of France going closest to us in lane 1. Next to him will be Shichukin from the neutral team, and Franchon of France, Tassiran from Turkey, the other Frenchman, Clergeau, going in lane 5. And we've had a notification that Ivan Liberal Manzanes will not be continuing in the competition in the pool. He must have done himself a little bit of an injury, or perhaps he's overly fatigued out in the heat here. It has been brutal. And that's an interesting point that we have talked about throughout the competition. Coming into the pool, a refreshing dip, I think one of the athletes referred to it as.
Yeah, Mu'taz Mohammed sees this as a refreshing dip before the start of the laser run. So just keep note that the heats are going out from the lowest ranked athletes. So we have the 6 lowest ranked athletes up first, and then building our way up to the top athletes in this men's final.
Well, they're ready for heat 1. Lavilat closest to us, Shichukin, Schön, Tassiran, Clergeau. And we don't have Liberal Manzanes, and they are out and up and running. Look out for lane 2, second closest to us, Shichukin with the fastest time in qualification of 2:06.97.
We got 3 of the Frenchmen in this first heat, Lavilat, Schön and Clergeau. And this is the first 50 that the men will be turning on, and it looks as if Lajalan and Shichukin are neck and neck with this first 50, but it's Shichukin just pulling away in this 100 meters. Really important in this first 100 meters of the 200 is just getting enough oxygen in for that finish that they will have on that final 50. Shichukin really letting loose with his speedy kicks. But to the top of your screen there we have Clergeau turning just behind Shichukin. Clergeau will be looking to the right where his teammates are swimming beside him. probably looking for them as a pacemaker. But it's Shchukin who's just setting away on his third 50, making use of breathing left and right. But look at that kick from Shchukin. He is letting loose for this 200. He's giving it his all for this men's final. It's the final turn for the last 50. Look at that underwater from Shchukin. No time to waste. Quick turnover time, but look how he's just reaching, and that catch that he has underneath and the pull that he's really generating with his arms. Quick turnover rate with Shchukin's freestyle. It's the last meters of this 50 meter. He is giving it his all, flying through. Will he put his head down for those final meters? But it looks as if the Frenchmen, Clergeau, Schoen and Lavelat will be touching on time together. And it is around 2:11 for the Frenchmen. As we welcome Tasha Run to the end of this 200 meters.
2:05.75, the time set by Shchukin of the neutral team, and he will be, neutral athlete. He will be the benchmark that we'll be basing the remaining 2 heats on.
So given we have the 3 Frenchmen in this first heat, they are fighting for medals in the team overall scoring. Another team that's fighting for that is Team of Egypt and Ukraine. They will probably be fighting for gold and silver to take back home. But just the last few shots we have there of Shchukin, who won his heat alongside the 3 Frenchmen.
So heat 1 of 3, done and dusted. 2:05.75 the time to keep in mind. That's currently where the most points will be scored. And that's Valery Shchukin. Heat number 2 coming out now. Man who made big strides in the obstacle is in amongst them. There he is, Jonas Kalaminskas. Climbed right up through the rankings. We'll go in 1. Fiat Chinia, neutral athlete in 2. Hungary will be cheering on Tamash in 3. Abuama continuing to look to make moves to Egypt in 4, and he has his teammate Mohammed, the reigning world champion, next to him in 5, on the far side from where we are looking. And then Rybak of Ukraine goes in lane number 6. Closest to us then, Kalaminskas. Fastest time out of this lot, Rybak. Down over in lane 6 on the far side of the pool. Heat number 2, the swim in the men's junior world championship final here in Hungary.
Men are making waves here, as you can see. Muataz Mohamed, he's looking for a fast time. We know him as a strong and laser run athlete, but beside him is his teammate Mustafa Abu Amr, also one to look out for. Just at the bottom of your screen, we have Kalaminskas of Lithuania turning there. Great underwater work as he makes his way for his second 50. It's Kalaminskas, Mustafa, Muataz Mohamed. Muataz Mohamed, the reigning junior world champion, looking to put in a good swimming time. About to turn off for his second 50. Not far behind him is Tamas Botand of Hungary, the host nation.
Well, Mohamed's making a move here, isn't he? He's decided he needs to get up the rankings before the laser run, and he's absolutely motoring through the pool here.
He's one of the athletes that will be applying his World Cup experience, where he recently just picked up gold in the Budapest World Cup here. turns for his final 50. Look at that kick he's generating. He's giving it his all for this 200 meters, but not far behind him is Tamas of Hungary.
.205.75, so the best time set in Heat 1 by Valery Shachukin. Tas Mohammed looking to top that time if he can, or certainly get close to it. And he completes the swim here in the second heat. Lane 3, as he said, was Koton Tamash finishing in second place, but it's not about your finishing place, it's about your time and bringing up the rear. Neutral athlete Kenny Kvyadchenia. Mohammed making moves in the pool here. Reigning champion under a little bit of pressure as he came into the swim down in 11th place, and he's actually dropped a couple of places from where he first started. I wonder what that's done to his time. He's still looking pretty relaxed, isn't he?
Yeah. He's such a joy to watch in modern pentathlon. He really has shown great efforts throughout the season. As we said, picked up gold in Budapest. We will be seeing him very shortly again for the World Cup final. And as we said again, one of those athletes who was competing on the senior circuit, just applying it now to this Junior World Championships, as he's super pleased with that smile on his face, has time to look at the camera.
Well, one more heat to come, and this is the leading pack. Hume in lane 1, Lee in 2, Popov in 3. Hassan from Egypt, the highest ranked of the Egyptians, goes in 4. Sich still in the hunt for a medal here. The Ukrainian goes in 5, and Bobrov, the neutral athlete, goes in 6. And it's Bobrov who will lead them out. Just starting to feel the tension rise. I know Mutas Mohammed looked chilled out and nice and relaxed, but you could just feel the tension starting to build here, because this is the last of the swim heats before they hightail it back to the main stadium for the conclusion of this Junior World Championship final.
Yep, the swimming is really just the calm before the storm before we have the ever-exciting laser run finish.
The last 6 of the contenders for this world title, the leading contenders for the world title, about to take to the pool and their 200-meter swim. In they go, and they are up and running.
First 50, all about setting the pace.
Well, at the start of this race, I can just tell you that we've had an update on the scores and times for the second heat, and it was Mutas Mohammed with the fastest time so far, going out in 2:04.20. So 2:04.20, the benchmark now to hit.
Yeah, 2:04.20 really allowed Mutas Mohammed to get those 300 points. So it's up to this final heat to set the bar high. But it's Sich of Ukraine setting pace here, making waves in this pool for their second 50. Sich neck and neck with Bobrov to the right of him, to the top of your screen there. And James Hume just at the bottom, turning on his round for his third 50.
Sich with the fastest time in qualification of a 2:05 dead.
You see Sich just looking towards the right of the pool. Might be looking out for Hume and pacing him amongst Hume, but it's Sich who's creating this lead there. Will it be what it needs for him to get a great start to the laser run? makes his way for the last 50 of this 200. Look at that underwater dolphin kick from Sitch. He lets loose. James looking to the right of the pool, matching up with Sitch and Bobrov. Look at that rhythm that Sitch is creating. He's going for a fast time. Sitch is putting everything in for this swimming. As well as Hume, as he makes his way to finish up. Hume, Bobrov, and Lee Ju-chan of Korea.
Well, they are going to remain up there. The times will be coming in as soon as we get them. But they all came in pretty close to each other, and they are the ones that are leading this men's Junior World Championship for pentathlon. The world title up for grabs. And I wonder whether they are going to be the 6 contenders when we get to the laser run. The pool has now done its job here at these Junior World Championships. And the athletes will make their way back. Taking a look back over the heat.
Yep, so it was Sitch of Ukraine who led way for this men's final heat. Great turn there from Sitch. As we said it before, 200 meter, really important to get great turns, great underwater, just to cut off a few every second that you can without wasting your energy.
Well, Sitch set a 2:06.74. Hume a 2:09.80. And this is how things stand after the 3 disciplines, the fence, the obstacle course and the swim. Sitch making a move of 2 places, and Tamash making a move of 5. Muhammad, the reigning champion, jumping 5 in the pool as well. He's dropped his teammate Hassan Bobrov and Kalaminskas, and Rybak gaining 2 along with Shachukin. So things are starting to shape up here in the laser run. Kvyatchinia dropping 6 places in the pool as the rest of the bottom 6 remain where they were coming into the swim. 3 disciplines are done. We combine the last 2 disciplines into the laser run, which comes next. But before we move on to that, let's take a look back at the 3 heats in the swim. Well, there's been some big movement in the pool in the 3rd discipline here at the Junior Modern Pentathlon World Championships. But the pool is done and dusted, and we now move on to the fabulous laser run. 5 laps of the 600-meter course. You go around once, and then you visit the range for the first time. It's a 10-meter laser range where you've got to hit the target 5 times before you move on, and that's where changes in position can happen and often do. After your 4th visit to the range, you'll complete the remainder of the 600-meter lap, and whoever comes around the final bend and into the final straight and over the line first will become the 2025 world champion. Men's final laser run at the Junior World Championships coming up, and we've had a chance to have a little look around what the athletes see as they're going around this track. Out of the start gate, and into the track, which is a mixture of an athletics track and some grass, which is something to contend with. They come into the range, 5 shots at the target. They've got to control their breathing, hit those targets. The green lights at the top indicating when they've got to 5, and they've got to get those 5 lights. Poppy Clark here. How old is she today? We've got her age wrong so many times over the course of the last few days. She's doing this run for us. And the interesting thing down the straights is the lines they take coming into the bends. Do you go tight with a short gate going around the bends and onto the asphalt, which probably is a little bit more comforting than the grass, and perhaps even more comforting as we speed things up is this arch, because that's got little fans in it with water being sprayed onto the athletes to cool them down. I mean, it is frighteningly hot.
Yeah, I mean, just also look back at that straight that we had there. This morning we had a really big transition for silver and bronze happening between Malak Ismail of Egypt and Lucy Lavachneva of Czechia. So keep a lookout for those transitions that will be happening on the straight there.
Yeah, so not just the range we've got to look out for, we've got to look out for the runners as well. And we've got to look at the standing, as we said. Each modern pentathlon point you're ahead gives you a second advantage over your opponents. James Hume's at the top with 908 ranking points. But there was a big move from Murtaz Mohammed, the reigning champion, in the pool. He's moved up to 873 points, which by my reckoning puts him 35 seconds behind James Hume. And let's face it, that is a gettable handicap.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Murtaz Mohammed coming back from the back of the field, even in, say now, more than 10th position. So we know what Murtaz Mohammed is capable of. He has that experience, and he has the gold medal winning experience here, especially in this Junior World Championships. He is 20 years old, so this isn't quite his last Junior World Champs yet, but it is James Hume's last Junior World Championships, as he's 21. So there's just so much motivation for medals here.
But it's not just those two. I mean, Li Jichuan, he's 24 seconds behind, starts in second place, 4 seconds further back. Danilo Sic, who's performed exceptionally well. Tamash Botan as well, Botan Tamash, I should say, we're going for it. And Abu Amr as well. I mean, what about him? Is he in with a shout here? Abu Amr, he's down in 11th, 49 seconds behind. You can't rule him out, can you?
Not at all. I mean, he picked up silver medal last year at the Junior World Champs. I mean, we've got 3 of the medalists in the previous Junior World Champs, so it's anybody's race in this, and we are set for another action-packed laser run. They're all starting off just seconds apart, so strap in, folks.
Yeah, definitely. We're getting a look at Valery Shachukin. He's going to be 51 seconds behind. Let's see if he can make a move from that position. They're all tightly bunched. I mean, it's not too big a gap. So the quality, obviously, of this 18-man finalist field. Dropped down to 17 now because we hope he's okay. The Spaniard, Ivan Liberal Manzanes, did not make it to the swim. Murtaz Mohammed in the last heat in the pool, just getting himself ready, gets a hug from his coach. Time to switch disciplines. Turn your mind now to the laser shoot. And he is the man that we've got an eye on right now, but we also had the pleasure of speaking to him a little earlier.
Hello, I am Murtaz Mohammed. I am Egyptian modern pentathlete. I am a junior world champion and a couple World Cup medalists. So the transition between swimming and laser run, after the new format, we don't have a lot of time, so we should move very fast. We actually train in Egypt to do like swimming, and like 5 minutes we have to be in the running course. So we will adapt for this situation to train after swimming, after a hard swim. The weather here is very hot. I think as an Egyptian, we are adapt to a situation like this because it's very hot also in Egypt. I think we have an advantage above any other athlete, but it's still hot for us, you know. My mindset for any race, of course, I get like a little bit of worry, but you know, sometimes I look at myself, what I have achieved, how much I trained for this moment. So I get a lot of mixed feeling, but at the end, before the race starts, like 10, 9, 6, 7, 8, I feel encouraged. I think I feel I'm ready for this moment, and then thinking about what I will do in the race.
Well, that's Motaz has thought, lovely smile for Motaz Mohammed, and he will be hunting down the man who's going to start with a 24-second lead, and that's James Hume from Great Britain. Here he is, and we had a chat with him as well.
Hi, my name's James Hume. I'm a modern pentathlete from Great Britain. The transition is only 10 minutes long. It's shortened since last season, so it's a lot more difficult. But what I would do is I get changed as quick as I can, get a gel down me, and I'll try and jog from the swimming pool to the laser run venue, where all my stuff will be. I'll then keep on jogging, and then I will do probably one target, and just clear as much lactate as possible after that, and then get on the start line. We do a lot of training for transitions in Bath, where I train, so it's quite good, but also I would mentally prepare when I'm doing the jog, so I don't need to do too much shooting warm-up. Yeah, I checked the weather, but it didn't help too much. But yeah, no, you can manage it, I guess, a bit by cooling down and like putting ice on you as much as possible, cooling your vest off before you run, but it's still tough. It's too hot for us. In Bath, it's a lot cooler than this. It's been hot recently in Bath, but not this hot, so it's tough.
It has been hot in the UK, actually, for the last couple of weeks, in fact, and the heat wave continues here in Central Europe as well. There are weather warnings actually around Central Europe at the moment because of the hot conditions. There has been a cooling breeze for the last couple of days, but very interesting to hear Motaz Mohammed saying, he kind of said, yeah, it does give us an advantage a little bit, but you know, it's also difficult for us. But of course it's difficult. It's tough in the hot conditions, but you just have to focus on rehydration and making sure that you keep your carbs up and that you use recovery time and get out of the sun as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. But with that said, it is later on in the day. Sun is not quite setting yet, but it is a lot cooler. Is a breeze up and going, so ideal conditions for the start of this men's laser run. Just Lee in your shot there of Korea. He'll be starting up in second place with a 24 seconds behind James Hume.
You're listening to Alida van der Merwe, our expert, silver medalist at the African Championships, Youth Olympic Games finalist. So Alida, you know what is going through your mind here. Some of the athletes say that they don't really focus too much on shooting practice at this point.
I mean, yeah, look here. We have a sort of a visualization of the sightings with the shooting. So it's different from athlete to athlete, but generally before the start of the laser run, you don't want to get too many shoots in, because if you have a bad shoot, it's going to rattle you for the start and you're going to get your nerves on, and that's not quite what you want for the start of the laser run. But here we have the crowd that's here supporting on our pentathletes.
Yeah, it's been a good turnout here over the weekend. Two Egyptians, Hassan and Mohammed. Mohammed, the reigning champion, and Popov as well. He's up in fifth place, bronze medalist at the World Championships last year, so he's in a good position. He'll go out 34 seconds after the leader. Another one to keep an eye on, Roman Popov of Ukraine.
You can see Martinescu in your screen there of Italy, who competed in the women's final, supporting the men in their race. There aren't any Italians in the final, but nevertheless, here's our lineup.
Yep, so you get the handicap system. Lee Ju-chuan from Korea starting 24 seconds behind James Hume. There's a grouping that then go out 4, 5 and 6, including the bronze medalist and the gold medalist from last year. We then go a little bit further, and Hassan really is in that group before another little gaggle of 2, Bobrov and Kanaminskas, and then the 2 from Ukraine and Egypt, Rybak and Abu Amma. We'll see what Mustafa Abu Amma can do from there. Chichukin will be just a couple of seconds behind them. And you have to say, really, all the way down to Florent Schoen, the athletes can't be written off. What happens in the range in that first and second visit will make a big difference. From there, everyone then goes out as a group, 1 minute 30 seconds behind the leader, but their times then have to be aggregated and have their handicap added on as the reigning world champion just checks that they've got the right split for him to come out. There's the man going off second, Lee Ju-chuan. Wonder what the Korean can do. Can he stay in the hunt? Popov of Ukraine just trying to stay calm, trying to stay in the shade as well. Abu Amma as well. Hassan checking his time. Kanaminskas had a great obstacle, and he will be in the mix. Finished 5th at the World Championships last year, the Lithuanian, and he goes out 41 seconds after this man here, James Hume. They are lining up at the start. Hume will lead them out. Need to make sure those shoes stay on. The world champion looking to defend his title here in Czechoslovakia. The tension builds. The world title is up for grabs. The laser run is upon us at the men's junior pentathlon world championships. 3 athletes within 30 seconds of each other. We're about to get underway. James Hume sets off at the start of the laser run. We are going around the track, 3,000 meters, 4 visits to the range. Hume has a 24-second lead. He goes past the range the first time out and into the middle of the track. At the moment, running on a mixture of grass and asphalt. Lee Ju-chuan comes out second, 24 seconds behind. Now it's Danilo Sich from Ukraine. He'll be followed by the host nation's Boton Tanas, who's followed out very briefly by Roman Popov. Mujahid Mohammed as well, out with Mohammed Hassan and Andrei Bobrov. Jonas Kalaminskas from Lithuania comes out along with Oleg Rybak. Mustafa Abu Amma out and up and running. Valery Shikukin also coming out. Most of the athletes are out now, and Florent Schoen is out as well. The rest will come out in about 22 seconds. And out the front, James Hume is coming around the top bend and around the final bend into the straight. He leads by some way, and here he is. Lee holding on to second, Sich just behind him.
Not too far behind, we have Hassan and Mohammed hanging on to 4th and 5th. Sich overtakes Lee into silver medal contention, but I'd look out for Hassan and Mohammed as they're catching up onto Lee and Sich. It's Mohammed and Hassan making that transition there on the bend.
And Mohammed made a massive move, already up into the silver medal position. He's keen to get in the face of James Hume, who's now entering the range. James Hume with the first shoot here, looking for 5 green lights to get out. Can he do it before Mohammed comes into the range? Mohammed now in the silver medal position with Hassan in bronze. And we got the accuracy here. Hume struggling to get shot number 3 in. Oh my goodness me, he does do it finally, and 4 in quick succession. 5 and he's out as the others come into the range. And what a move from Mutas Mohammed, the defending champion here, came into the range in 2nd position, struggling to get his first shot out, but now up to 2 along with Sich.
It is Mohammed who has 3, 4 green lights. They're all going to go off at the same time, but it's Sich who's out 3rd, 4th for Mohammed, and 5th for Tamas. Tamas just hanging on to Mohammed there.
The crowd going mad for Tamas coming out in 4th place. He's put himself already in contention for a medal. And there he is in that gaggle of 3. Sich in the silver medal position. Mustafa Mohammed in bronze with Tamas in 4th place at the moment. But again, Mustafa Mohammed making the move.
Mu'taz Mohammed now sitting on silver medal position. Not far behind him is Tamas and Sich. Tamas looking for that bronze medal place. Sich hanging on to Mohammed there, and it's still James Hume who's creating that gold medal lead. He is up and he is comfortable, but it is Mu'taz Mohammed who's looking for the fight, looking for that reigning gold medal.
I'm getting so excited, I'm mixing up my Egyptians. Apologies to Mu'taz Mohammed, the reigning world champion. Running through that refreshing arch will be sweet relief. But James Hume, he's getting hunted down a little bit here, but he still has a healthy lead. He's 40 metres ahead of this group here, and he will be coming into the range first. He struggled with his first shoot. Can he achieve something better with his second? But look at Mu'taz Mohammed and Botond Tamash moving up into bronze medal position. Sich already starting to look like the lungs are burning. James Hume enters the range. He is going in for his second shoot here. You can see picture in picture, he hits the first target, hits the second target, hits the third target. This is a much better shoot. Gets 4 on the 5th shot, and now he's out of the range. Hume's gone. He's had a much better second shoot, but the battle for the other medals is right here. Mu'taz Mohammed gets out in silver medal position. He's now clear, but Botond Tamash comes out in 3rd, and he's now very clear of Sich, who's blowing hard, but he does finally make it out. Lee struggling on the second shoot as number 7 comes out behind Ryback, who's moving up through the ranks.
Mu'taz Mohammed gradually closing that gap up upon James Hume. Not far behind Mohammed is Thomas Botond of Hungary. He's keeping up with Mu'taz Mohammed, but it's Mu'taz Mohammed in a class of his own. He's hunting down James Hume, but James Hume is keeping it up on his 3rd running lap.
Hume starting to feel the heat. He comes through the refreshing spray arch, the water spray, but now in clear sight, 25 metres behind him. You can see the difference, and you've got to think about now that bronze medal position as well in the green shorts and red t-shirt that we'll see every now and again. Sitting in 3rd is the Hungarian, who's got the support of the crowd here, but has he gone out too hard? Mu'taz Mohammed closing down step by step, stride by stride, as the fantastic Alex, the cameraman, the super cameraman, brings them around the bend. And look at James Hume. He looks like he's already starting to tire. And as he gets past, before they go into the range for the 3rd time, Mu'taz Mohammed, the reigning champion, takes the lead. We questioned whether he could do it. He's not even halfway through the race and he's done it.
it all comes down to this third shooting series. Murtaz Mohammed had a clear 5 out of 5, but he misses the first one. It's James Hume who gets the first one. Murtaz Mohammed, 2 green lights, 3 green lights for Murtaz Mohammed, and Murtaz Mohammed is sitting on the 4th green light, and he's off. He's leading on the 4th running lap.
Hume in trouble here. He is blowing hard, but he gets out second. He's been dumped by Murtaz Mohammed. And can Botan Tamash get out? Yes, he does, but he's been caught there. And it's Ryback, I think, no, Shishtukin, I think it is, who's coming out in 4th place, hot on the heels of Botan.
Looks like Sich and Popov, the 2 Ukrainians, fighting for the bronze medal. Popov, the reigning bronze medalist of last year's Junior World Championship. But as you can see, Murtaz Mohammed making way. He's not going to let go. He's not stopping. But James Hume holding on to silver medal. Not far behind him is Thomas and Sich and Popov. Sich taking over of Botan there, of the Hungarian. He will try and pace himself with him, but not far behind is Popov. We have a race and a finish for a bronze medal.
Yeah, this has all happened in the range, hasn't it, between Sich and Tamash. They've both had a good shoot and a bad shoot, and a fairly average one, and that's what's put them together on the track here. They are staying with each other, but look at this chasing pack, Sich and Tamash together, not far behind them. It's the other Ukrainian, but out the front, they are starting to close in. This on the bell goes for Murtaz Mohammed, but the gaggling pack in the bronze medal run are starting to close in on the silver medal position of James Hume of Great Britain. Murtaz Mohammed, showing his class, comes into the range having got the bell for the 4th time. He steadies himself, gets the first, misses the second, hits the third. He's on 3, 4 lights. He's going to come out of the range before anyone else gets in there. And a little bit of showboating from him, but also crushing the confidence of James Hume in silver medal position. He's hit 2 here. He's hit 3. Can he get 4 and 5 and get out of the range? No! Botan Tamash comes out in 2nd position. The Hungarian has moved into the silver medal position. And it looks like the Ukrainians have got out as well. Sich in bronze. Popov in 4th place. And James Hume now trying to put down the afterburners behind these two. Sich trying to get past Tamash. Sich battling here. Popov just sitting back. Keep an eye on him. Murtaz Mohammed halfway down the back straight as silver and bronze and 4th enter the back straight. Sich makes a move around the outside. Sich is moved up, but he's got a lot of work to do. Botan Tamash being egged on by the home crowd here, holds the inside line around the bend, and coming around that final bend, it's the reigning world champion, Murtaz Mohammed, as Botan Tamash tries desperately to hold on. Murtaz Mohammed looks like he's coming to the line, and he is! The 2024 world champion takes the title in 2025, but the race for silver's still on. It looks like Sich has done it, and Thomas has made it over in the bronze medal position to the delight of the home crowd. Popov coming through in 4th. The efforts that Hume went to through the first couple of laps blew him out, but he does finish in a very respectable 5th place. But the title goes yet again to Murtaz Mohammed.
Incredible stuff there from Murtaz Mohammed, Sich and Thomas. And we just welcome our last few athletes, Rybak and Lavilat, over the finish line.
Brilliant stuff from Lavilat coming from the back. The start of the competition to finish in a very respectable 11th place. Congratulations from Hassan for Mohammed, a 2-time junior world champion back-to-back in 24 and 25. Shun makes it over the line. Lee failing there to capitalise on starting in second place. Kwiatchenia coming through. Abu Amma couldn't live up to the billing that he set for us last year. Clergeot coming over. Tashjiran, who well, was absolutely stunning in the laser run to make this final in his semi-final, also crosses the line, and he will be the last over the line as Liberal, who we send our best wishes to, pulled out before the swim. Was there any doubt, Murtas Mohammed? No, there wasn't. From 6th to 1st, he retains the world title that he won last year. And he is the pentathlon men's junior world champion for a 2nd year in a row. Sich and Popov. Sich moving through the ranks. Great shooting, great endurance to take him to the silver medal. He had some work to do around the final 200 meters, but he did it. And despite being pushed down a place, the host nation will be celebrating with Botan Tamash taking the bronze medal. He put everything into that, and he set himself up for a good laser run, starting in 4th, moving up to 3rd with a couple of really good visits to the range. What a finish, what a sport. Absolutely magical stuff, and the man with the biggest smile on the circuit, he's going to be beaming for the next few days. He did it in the swim, you have to say. He set himself up. As we take a look back, Hume starting out with a massive 24-second lead, and he looked comfortable through the first lap and into the range. Pacing himself nicely, keeping his lead through that first lap, James Hume, but the chasing pack quickly swept up the number 2 man, Li Juchuan. But Murtas Mohammed wasted no time. It wasn't a bad visit to the range, the first one for James Hume, and he got out first before anyone else entered it. But here was the man on the move, Murtas Mohammed. Sich went out early after the shoot as well, and that's when Botan Tamash in the red shirt, green shorts started to make his move. But look at Murtas Mohammed putting everything into it early doors to break the spirits of all around him. Already in the silver medal position by the time we got to the range for the 2nd time, almost neck and neck with Tamash of Hungary and Sich of Ukraine. Hume still in control at this point, but cool, calm and collected. Murtas Mohammed moved into the silver medal position, and then there was no doubt what he was going to do. He was going to try and take Hume on the track, and he did it just as they came into the range. Hume looking like he was tiring already at this point. It wasn't the fastest shoot for Murtas at the 3rd visit, but he got out first, and he got the bell. 1 visit to the range to go, 1 lap to go, and Hume started to falter and was caught by the chasing pack. That was the final visit to the range. Arms out to the crowd. He knew he'd done it at this point. Crowd went wild as Tamash came out after the 4th and final shoot in the silver medal position. But Sich had other ideas. Danilo Sich hunting him down the back straight, going around the long way as Murtas Mohammed crossed the line to defend his world title. Sich managed to get around Tamash for silver, but Hungary will be delighted with the bronze medal for Botan Tamash. But the biggest smile of the lot comes from Murtas Mohammed. Sich with silver. You got a feel for James Hume. He just got blown up on lap 3. But hats off to the man from Egypt. And Murtas Mohammed taking the gold medal, the second time in succession the junior world title. Danilo Sic from Ukraine taking silver. The host nations, Hungary, Botos Tamás taking the bronze medal. Well, good finish for Shchukin in 7th, Rybak finishing 8th. It was a great move from Lavilat of France. 4 places made up in the laser run. Mohamed Hassan taking 10th, and Kalaminskas couldn't capitalise on the brilliance of his obstacle course race. Starting in 2nd, it was a big drop for Li Juchuan. And this completes the lineup. Tashiran coming in last place, and like I say, Liberal pulling out, and we send our best wishes to him. But the leader has hot-footed it down to the mixed zone, and I believe she's speaking to the bronze medalist.
Right, Tamás, congratulations. You've won the bronze medal here at the Junior World Champs. You started off in 4th place. You had the home crowd to support you. Tell us, what is it like competing with your home crowd?
This was my first time competing at a very big competition in front of my country, and I felt like that the last 100 in every lap, it was like a free 100 for me, because I didn't feel any pain, just hear my crowd to cheer me, and that's why it was like a lot easier for me to compete.
Brilliant stuff. And today was your day. Today was your lucky day. But now, after this competition, are you going to take a break? Are you going to have another goal? What's up next for you for this season?
It was a really tough season for me because I could compete in the senior field. So I'm really tired. Luckily, I will get 1 week off, and I will go to the mountains to hike and to just go completely relax. But after, I will continue the trainings, and hopefully I will chase other dreams at the senior field. Yeah.
Excellent stuff there. Well, now is your chance to speak to everyone watching back home. You have one message that you can send to them. You can do it in Hungarian if you'd like.
Nagyon szépen köszönöm mindenkinek a szurkolást, mindenkinek, aki itt néz, mindenkinek, aki kijött, és örülök, hogy egy kis mosolyt és örömet tudtam szerezni nektek, úgyhogy köszönök mindent. Sziasztok!
Great stuff. Thank you so much, Tamás, and congratulations once again.
Köszönöm, I'm sure everyone here will be saying thank you in Hungarian. The brilliance of Boton Tamás took him to the bronze medal on home soil, buoyed on, as he said, by the home crowd. Fabulous stuff from the Hungarian. And we've heard from the bronze medalist. What about the silver medalist from Ukraine, Danilo Sic, a leader?
Right, Sic, congratulations. You've picked up the silver medal today. Started off in 3rd place. Tell us about what was going in your head when you were starting in 3rd place, but you have your eyes on that silver medal.
Тебе вітають з срібною медаллю і питають, що в тебе було в голові, коли ти біг і починаючи ці змагання з 5-го місця.
Дякую за привітання в першу чергу. Від початку змагань, наприклад, себе я наготовував лише на призові місця, не хотілося підвести тренерів та близьких людей собі рядом, які підтримували мене до цієї вершини.
He came here as a silver medalist of the European Championship, and he wanted to repeat this success. And his thoughts and his mind was like to take a medal. And he is saying thanks a lot to our coaches, to all coaches, and to our government, because in this difficult situation, it's very important to come here and to bring our success to Ukraine.
Excellent stuff there. So you've picked up 2 silver medals in this season. What's lined up next for you? What's your next goal for this year?
Ти вже заробив 2 медалі на цьому році, чемпіонат Європи, чемпіонат світу. Що в тебе за мета на цей сезон? Чи є вона, чи нема?
Так, звичайно, є. Хочеться до кінця довиступати сезон, добре виступити на міжнародних змаганнях дорослого рівня.
So, after 1 month, we will have senior European Championships, and we are preparing for this competition as well. And the next goal, it will be like to be successful at this competition as well.
Excellent stuff there. Excellent Sitch. And just one last thing. You have a message to send right back home to anyone watching, family, friends, or even your fans.
Ти хочеш щось сказати своїй родині, друзям або ще комусь, якесь повідомлення або якесь привітання?
Стандарт, хочу передати всім привіт. Також дякую особисто своїй родині за підтримку. Без них цього би не було. Також хочу подякувати своєму Translate за це інтерв'ю.
He says thanks to his family because it's the biggest support for every athlete, and he also says thanks for all who was with him at this period, and he also thanks to organizing, to the volunteers, and to everybody who are creating this competition.
Thank you very much, and congratulations once again on your silver medal, and good luck for the rest of the season and all your goals. Thank you.
Powerful message from Danilo Sitch. Great to see him thanking all his coaches and his family as well, as all the people back in Ukraine who undoubtedly would have been supporting him here today. Danilo Sitch with the silver medal. Popov was not far behind, not far out of the medals. We've heard from the bronze medalists, we've heard from the silver medalists. It's hard to get to the top, and the world champion of 2024 has stayed there, defending his title, and a leader is talking to Murtas Muhammad right now.
Murtas Muhammad, congratulations on winning your gold medal. Not only your first, but your second junior world championship title. Tell us a little bit about the race. You started up with a great swim. You caught up. Tell us what was going through your head throughout the day.
First, I feel amazing today that I defended my title again and win Junior World Championship. So at first, fencing today didn't go as planned. I got knocked out at the round 16. So I had to do average OCR, then also a great swim. After swimming, I started like at 6th place. The first half gave me a head start like 35 seconds. What I did before, I did again, and I could catch him. So I am very proud of this achievement today. It's my last junior year, so I'm very happy that I ended that way. So it's amazing.
Excellent stuff, Mohammed. And I mean, you still have a season ahead of you, don't you? You still have World Cup final and the Senior World Championships. Tell us a little about your goals and what you expect for the rest of the season.
So I finished today, and then after 4 days, I will be competing in World Cup final in Egypt. So I had to start my recovery from now. Get ready, get my mind straight. Don't celebrate too much, and getting ready for the next competition with great recovery. So
great stuff, and you deserve to celebrate. But with those family and friends watching back home, here's your chance to tell them a little message to the camera.
Okay, أنا فخور جدا بالإنجاز اللي عملته النهاردة. الحمد لله ان انا قدرت احافظ على المركز بتاعي وان انا قدرت اجيب المركز الذهب. شكرا يا بابا وماما ومدربيني كلهم، الفريق كله. طبعا قعدت اقول الفريق كله، يعني مش هخلص النهارده، بس انا حابب اشكركم واحد واحد، وان شاء الله نجهز للبطوله اللي جايه، وان شاء الله خطوه بخطوه كده ونفضل نجيب يعني اتشيفمنت يعني حبه حلوين كمان.
Excellent stuff there, and congratulations once again on your second Junior World Championship title.
Thank you Alida, thank you UIPM.
Brilliant smile. Thanking a few people back home as well, and I think giving a little nod to hoping to perform on home soil. Brutal schedule for Murtas Muhammad and a lot of the athletes out here who literally will be packing their bags this evening and heading off to Alexandria for the World Cup final, the Senior World Cup final. And you've got to fancy that Murtas Muhammad will be challenging there as well, especially given that he's going to be on home soil. And we'll be bringing you live coverage of that World Cup final next weekend. Men's and women's World Cup final. The conclusion of the World Cup circuit. A little bit later on this season, we'll move on to the World Championships. Well, we've had a fabulous competition here And there will be a little break in proceedings as we prepare for the medal ceremonies in the men's competition. Gives us a chance to take a look back at the brilliant performances of the athletes here in the men's final. James Hume began the race in first place with a 24-second head start. He looked like he was in control of the race at the beginning, followed out by Li Chu Wan and Danilo Sic, but on to Tamash coming out in fourth place as well. Hume looking pretty calm there as the athletes come through that refreshing water arch. Sic sitting in second place had already swept up Lee, and Hassan and Mohammed worked together in that first lap. Mohammed keen to close the gap as quickly as possible. Hume came into the range in first place and in control. A calm first shoot from him, and he looked like he was in control of this. He knew he was going to get hunted down, but he left the range clear of the rest of the pack. Murtas Mohammed made his intentions clear in the first lap, closing down a good 30 seconds. Sic coming out in second place, Mohammed coming out in third, and the Hungarians were buoyed by Tamash coming out in fourth. But Murtas continued to make his move up the field into the silver medal position. He came on the second lap, and he was looking to see how far ahead this man was, who started to look a little tired coming into the range for the second time. The left-hander took his time with his first shot, but you can see the gap had closed. He was still in the range and only just left as that pack came in. Murtas Mohammed kept his cool, came out of the range in second place clear after the second visit, and now the task was in hand. He had Hume in sight and he quickly hunted him down. The overtake around the bottom bend broke Hume's spirit. He desperately tried to stay with Mohammed and perhaps overexerted himself on the third lap. Murtas Mohammed, though, cool, calm and collected in the third shoot, left the range clear in first place. And he looked back to see how the others were doing and how much of an advantage he would take into the fourth visit to the range. He got the bell when he was clear of the field. He knew a good shoot at the fourth visit would seal the deal for defending the title he won last year. As he came into the range, he took a big breath and he absolutely smashed the fourth shoot, leaving the range before anyone else had arrived. Hume struggled and got swept up. Boton Tamash leaving the range in second position, and he was followed in close pursuit by Danilo Sic. And with Murtas Mohammed out front, clearly in the lead and on his way to his second world title, the battle for silver and bronze was the one to watch. Tamash holding the inside line round the final bend made Sic have to go around the long way. Murtas Mohammed at this point crossing the line for his second world title. But Sic did come around the long way. Around that final bend, you can see how much energy he put into this. Tamash looked behind him with Popov a little way off. He was able to ease off into the bronze medal position and thank his home crowd for taking him and carrying him over the line onto the podium. But it was gold for Mohammed and tears for Hume. Sic with silver. Popov coming through in fourth place, just missing out on the medals. But what delight for Danilo Sic. Murtas Mohammed just commiserating his teammate who didn't make through the medals, but there is confirmation. After the laser run, successfully defending his title, Egypt's Murtas Mohammed with the title here in 2025. Danilo Sic a proud Ukrainian taking silver, and in front of his home crowd, Botan Tamash collecting the bronze medal. All of the athletes that took to the field performed superbly well. Shechukin making up 5 places in the laser run, 4 places up for Lavilat of France, who made a big move through the field, through the 5 disciplines. Florence Schoen also climbing 3 places into the top 12. We lost the Spaniard, Ivan Liberal Manzanas, ahead of the swim. We knew he was going to finish in 18th place. Tastyran couldn't bring the magic that he brought to the semi-finals, but 17th is a good place finish for the athlete from Turkey. It's been a fabulous competition, the Junior World Championships, and the podium looks to be set and ready to receive the athletes who will gratefully take their medals. And racing back to the commentary position, Alida van der Merwe. Fabulous interviews.
Yeah, and just fabulous stuff there from those 3 medalists. And it's just incredible stuff and an incredible race that we've seen. But Mu'taz Mohammed, our reigning Junior World Champ, incredible.
Yeah, defended the title he won last year. Fabulous stuff. And he's about to get the crown here in Shekfehrevis. I think that's the worst way I've pronounced this. Shekfehrevis is the name of the city that we're in.
Quite a glow from the sunshine onto the podium there.
I'll give the photographers a bit of a challenge, won't it? Bronze medal in the men's Junior World Championships goes to Botan Tamash. On home soil, the Hungarian proudly stands on the podium. What a moment for him on home soil, saying competing in his first major competition on home soil, and what an achievement for him. Daniel Sich of Ukraine had to go round the long way, around the final bend. But he did just that to claim the silver medal. Fabulous performance from him at the run. Took everything out of him as well, coming around the bend, taking Tamash in the final 100 meters.
Junior World Champion, the 2 times Junior World Champion now, and gold medalist representing Egypt,
Well, what a smile. The biggest we've seen from the man with the biggest smile on the circuit. Defending the title he won last year, Egypt's Mu'taz Mohammed collects the title here in 2025 and gets the medal from the International Pentathlon Federation President Rob Stull, who's made the visit here for this Junior World Championships. Marks from the United States of America. Shaking hands with all of the medalists, but the man on top of the podium for the 2nd year running, Egypt's Mu'taz Mohammed, the king in the city of kings.
If you can, for the national anthem of Egypt. Most hölgyeim és uraim, kérem álljanak fel, ha tudnak, az egyiptomi himnusz.
Our huge support here for the double junior world champion. Murtaz Mohammed with the gold medal. Danilo Sich from Ukraine with silver. Hungary's Botond Tamash with the bronze medal completing the podium. Egypt will be super proud of their man who came from behind. He had to put in a big swim in the pool, but he showed his stamina, still able to run hard through the first 2 laps, to move up through the field after a massive handicap.
Next up, ladies and
Just
gentlemen,
35 seconds at the start of the laser run. He got into the lead by the end of the second lap. And unsurprisingly, the Hungarian Botond Tamash taking, being requested medal photos with the officials, the Hungarian officials, and quite right too. All that remains here in Hungary is for the presentation of the team medals. Team competition. 3 athletes, well, top 3 athletes combined to bring their scores together for the podium places.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our medalists and presenters of the team event.
Already looks like they've managed to bring the teams together for this medal presentation.
In third place, and the winners of the bronze medals representing France.
So the team coming through in third place, making the podium, is France. Etienne Clergeau, Florence Schoen and Diego Lavilla form the team, and that run from Lavilla from the back of the field is what has got them onto the podium here. Medals then for the French men's team. Marvellous performance to make the podium as a team, shows the strength in depth of the nation of France here in the junior category for the men in pentathlon.
In second place, and winners of the silver medals representing Egypt, Murtaz Mohammed, Mustafa Mohammed, and Mohamed Hassan.
Well, Egypt, despite having 3 in the final, were pipped at the post for a gold medal. They take the silver medal with big smiles on their faces. Mustafa Abouama, Murtaz Mohammed adding team silver to his individual gold, and Mohamed Hassan. Strength of Egyptian pentathlon for men and women still super high. Silver medal for the junior men's team.
And now, our 2025 Junior World Champions and gold medalists in team event, representing Ukraine, Danilo Sich, Roman Popov.
But the team champions proudly stand on top of the podium. The gold medal going to Ukraine. Danilo Sic getting his second silver medal, along with Roman Popov, who finished just outside the medals in the individual, and a good team performance from Oleg Rybak helped them get on top of the podium here. A massively proud moment for the Ukrainian team here at the Men's Pentathlon Junior World Championships, taking the team crown. Gold medalists then, Ukraine, have an opportunity to celebrate with their national anthem. Great stuff for the Ukrainians of Sic, Popov and Rybak, taking the men's junior team world championship gold medal. They pushed Egypt into the silver medal position. Abu Amma, Mohammed and Hassan, the three collecting the Egyptian medal. France will be proud of Clergeot, Schoen and Lavilat collecting the bronze medal. Moment in the spotlight and for the cameras, and a moment in the spotlight for you, Alida. Your highlight from this session?
Oh, it has to be Mortaz Mohammed's laser run. He just stormed through, and even being in a gold medal contention, just never gave up, and that's the athlete who he is. Just never gives up and had pure grit and determination.
Absolutely fantastic. Really great to have you in the box, and I'm delighted to say Alida will be joining me next weekend as we bring you coverage from the World Cup final in Alexandria in Egypt. All that remains is to thank all of you for joining us. We hope to see you next weekend.
Cserpakovics András méről Székesfehérvár. Az ajándékot